Welcome to Sports Junkies this week. It is December 18th. I'm Turley. It's around 4:50 right now. I'm here with my man Kyle Robinson. Kyle, what is up?
Not the temperature, I'll tell you that much. It's still cold as all get out up here.
You ready to hit the show?
I'm always ready, man.
All right, well, this week in Sports Junkies, it's the same old stuff. WWE and NFL. Big news this week. You will have to wait until later to find out. As well on the show, we will be talking hockey, MMA, MLB signings, a bunch of other news. But in NFL this week, we'll be talking about concussions in the NFL. That's been a big problem as of late. For the Rams this week, the question is, if they make playoffs at 8-8, does it look good or bad for the NFL? Two games this week, the Rams versus the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. After those two games, we'll take a look at the playoff picture as well as predictions for this week. Kyle, what's going on in the wrestling world this week?
We're going to have a look back at last week's 3-hour Slammy Award Raw, as well per orders of the GM. Tomorrow night, John Morrison is facing off against Sheamus in a number one contenders ladder match. So I'm going to look at if Morrison is ready to be champion or is ready to compete at the championship level. Other big news, in case you've been living under a rock, Hulk Hogan got remarried for a second time, I do believe.
Oh, don't forget, we've got Trey Westerberger this week. He'll be doing his first segment on the BCS, college football, everything that's going on over there. Also, we'll have some hockey. Corey won't be here this week. He will have a written segment on our website. Check that out. I'll be filling in for Corey on the hockey news.
In MMA, I'm going to take a look back at UFC 124 from last Saturday, and I've got a little bit of news concerning UFC 125 that's coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Also, some local news. We'll talk about the Blues for a little bit, and we've already hit on the Rams. No news on the Missouri Tigers because, well, the season's pretty much over for them. They do have the BCS game not the BCS game. They do have their bowl game they will be playing in. Trey will hit on that one, so that's our local news right there. Other top stories, we've got Athletes of the Year, both female and male, as well as Story of the Year, among a couple other stories, so we'll check all those out. All that and more on Sports Junkies. Welcome back to Sports Junkies. I'm Turley here with Kyle Robinson. Kyle, say hi to all the lovely fans.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, he is special. Don't worry about it. I take care of him.
Hey, you and that damn helmet just need to leave me alone, all right?
Funny thing is I'm actually wearing a cap right now.
Yeah, exactly. See, so who's wearing a helmet? I win.
I'm not wearing a helmet. You're wearing a helmet. You are the helmet.
Sometimes. I'm a big man.
All right, well, we're going to jump right into the NFL segment here today. The Rams going 8-8 and making the playoffs, that's a little goofy, don't you think? I mean, makes the NFL look bad, in my opinion. I mean, I've been wrong before. I've been known to be wrong. I'm a wrong person. But a team makes the playoffs that goes 8-8 or 7-9. Even 9-7 is acceptable. But 8-8 or 7-9, you make the playoffs, something's just not right with our playoff system there. 2-3 years ago, the Patriots won 11-5, not 10-6, but 11-5, and did not make the playoffs. Something's not right with our playoff system. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching the NFL playoffs, and it's a lot better than the BCS system. I will argue up and down with you all day that college football needs a playoff system, but that's a different subject. Say in this scenario, again, the Patriots, and it's not likely, but the Patriots don't make the playoffs, and the Rams make playoffs at 8-8. You got to look at things, and you're like, well, yeah, they're in two separate conferences, which means two separate seedings, but still, it's like, that looks bad competition-wise, because that means a team that deserved to make playoffs and had a better chance, not saying the Rams don't have a chance, of winning the Super Bowl, didn't even get a chance to win that Super Bowl because...
I have a question for you here, Josh. You said they're in two different divisions.
Two different conferences.
If I'm wrong, but aren't the Rams at the top of their division?
No, they're tied for their division right now.
So they're tied for first.
Right.
Okay, so granted, if they make the playoffs at 8-8, or lower, as you say, they're at the top of a division that has its own problems. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily a problem with the playoff system. It just means that the teams that they were stacked up against this year didn't do as well as they should have done.
Agreed. I agree with that. I mean, not necessarily that there's wrong with the playoff system. Like, I think they should add another team to each conference, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Maybe if this 18-game schedule comes out next season, it's possible. Yes, you're right. The NFC West is weak. It's a very weak division. even though the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl 2 years back, and Seattle went to the Super Bowl not too long ago, and the Rams were in the Super Bowl 6-7 years ago. Yeah, that's a long time. San Francisco has not been in the playoffs in a while, and they probably won't be in the playoffs in a while. Other than that, the Rams, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals, all right now, they are not a playoff team. I love the way the Rams are playing this season. I do love the fact that pretty much backed off of Steven Jackson and they lightened his load this year. And the fact that Sam Bradford, he's playing really good for a rookie. I don't care what anybody says. He's playing really good for a rookie. I did not think he would be good coming out of college. I personally didn't. I thought he would be an injury-prone quarterback. It's only his first year. You don't
remember that debate, actually.
It's only his first year. You never know what will happen, but as of right now, none of those teams, in my opinion, deserve to make playoffs. Right now, a team in, let's say, the NFC East is not going to make the playoffs because the division winner always makes the playoffs and a third wild card won't. But I personally think it makes the NFL look bad if the Rams make the playoffs and a team who is 9-7 or 10-6 does not. Concussions in the NFL this week. This is becoming more and more of a frequent problem. The NFL data shows that the number of reported concussions has increased more than 20% from 2009 and more than 30% from 2008. Yet the players who grind out the tough yards and some of those who tackle them say knocking heads is just going to happen. And I agree with that. Running backs like Steven Jackson, Michael Turner, and Adrian Foster tend to plow forward for the first down marker, and that means helmet-to-helmet contact with the defender. Neither player is likely to be considered defenseless under these NFL rules. Earlier this season, Packers linebacker Nick Barnett, who everybody knows this guy is a full-force player, complained he's faced too many backs with their heads straight down. Cowboys linebacker DeMarcus Ware says there's a double standard here since running backs are not going to get called for a penalty if they lead with their heads. I completely agree with DeMarcus Ware. It's not really fair. The league is set up this year, and as of late, the league is set up for offense. Defense, you pretty much have to be perfect in order to win the game anymore. Like back in 99, 2000, around those times when Baltimore won their Super Bowl, they did not win because of offense. They won because of their defense. They had a horrible quarterback at the time, but that was okay. They had the defense to make up for it. The Bucs, when they won the Super Bowl in 2002, their defense was the reason why. The Rams, they were pretty balanced. They had good defense, good offense. They were the greatest show on turf at the time, but that was offense. That is one of the few teams you can think of back then that was offensive powerhouses, I guess you can say. And that was because they didn't have all these rules that's against the defense. Now I think these concussions are inevitable because players are getting bigger, they're getting stronger, and they're getting faster, which means that the people they're hitting, aka the halfbacks, the receivers, the quarterbacks, are going to get hurt more likely, which I understand the NFL is trying to make rules and trying to keep player safety, because I hit on this, I think, 2 weeks ago. Steve Young should have had a longer career, but he didn't because he had too many concussions in his career. This season, Aaron Rodgers, supposed to be the MVP. At the beginning of the season, he was predicted to be MVP, and he's had his second concussion this season. I've never had a concussion in my life. Kyle, have you?
Not that I can remember, to be honest.
And this guy's had 2 in an NFL season.
That's sad.
That's not really sad. That's tough football. That's players. I guarantee you in the next 10 years, you won't see Iron Men on the field like Brett Favre, like Peyton Manning.
Oh, no. But at the same time, NFL's throwing out all these, these rules and these guidelines. The one question that I have, and I don't know about you, Josh, but have you ever worn an actual football helmet?
Yeah, dude, I played football in high school.
If I can remember correctly, and it has been a little while, but if I remember correctly, those helmets aren't necessarily the thickest things on the planet.
No.
With the science and the engineering and everything that they've got going on around them, there's got to be a way, and it's out there, I guarantee it, to come up with a lightweight type of material or something that could protect the head a little bit better, keep the physicality in the game, keep everyone on their toes like they are now, without all these extra rules. Let the teams have a great defense, but give them something to protect themselves. A helmet that is really thin, kind of heavy, doesn't necessarily protect as much as people think that it does.
I don't think it matters how much you make, how thick you make that helmet. People are going to get hurt. It's part of the game. You sign that $1 million contract. Who's the highest paid player in the NFL right now? Probably Peyton Manning. You sign that contract. That is your way of saying, I am willing to risk my health to make this money.
True.
They're making rules to protect these players, which is because they're protecting their investment, which that's fine. I understand that. But you're not doing it for both sides. You're doing it for the offense. You're doing it for the main stars like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I think the way they're going with the concussions, the way they're going with all these rules, the fan base in the NFL is going to start going down if they don't start focusing on helping out the defense. Kyle, anything to add to that?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. You know, if they don't do something soon, the fan base might start depleting, and that's obviously, especially in today's day and age, not something the NFL wants.
Right. Moving on to the two top games of this week. We will start it off with Kansas City will come to St. Louis this week to face the Rams. Kansas City did not look good last week. The Chargers made them look bad. But that's besides the point. This is a new week, and the Rams are fighting for their playoff lives. Honestly, though, the Rams could lose every single game the rest of the season and still make the playoffs. We already talked on that. I will move on from there, even though it bothers me.
Somebody's got some hatred toward the playoff system or something.
No, it's not just that. It's just I don't find it fair. That's all.
Yeah.
But this week, I think Kansas City is looking to rebound from what happened. The Rams, they are fighting for their playoff lives, and this is a good matchup. The Chiefs and the Rams are a good matchup, although the Rams have a depleted defense right now. Their defense is hurting. Sam Bradford, I do believe he's playing, but he's hurt right now. Steven Jackson as well is hurt, so their team's pretty much injured. However, the Chiefs most likely will be without Matt Castle again this week, and the quarterback who played last week did not look good. I think it was Brody Croyle. I'm not too sure on that one. In this one, it'll be a good, solid, low-scoring matchup because both offenses are rather weak right now unless Sam Bradford pulls rookie magic out of his butt. But I'm going to take the Rams in an upset because I think the Chiefs will not be able to get their offense together, and they'll look just as bad as they did last week. But the Rams will win this 20-17 in a good, hard-fought battle of running games. Jamal Charles versus Steven Jackson. I think both Sam Bradford and Brody Croyle will have solid games, but nothing spectacular. On to game 2 for the week, and man, I love this matchup because it's been a rivalry for so long, and it is for so much this season. It's basically whoever wins this game wins the division of the NFC East. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at New York against the Giants. The Giants already lost to the Eagles earlier this season, and that was not much of a competition. The Giants put up a fight, but the Eagles, you could tell, knew their game plan. This week, however, things are different. The Giants are looking good right now. The Eagles are looking good right now. They had a good, nice battle against Dallas last week, and I enjoyed that game a lot, especially the fact that John Kitna, the Cowboys quarterback right now, was trying to be Michael Vick running around the field. That is not a smart thing.
Never going to be another Michael Vick.
But Michael Vick, he's the X factor in the NFL right now. I don't care who he's playing against. He is the X factor in every game because he can do things that no other quarterback can do, that no other player can do. And I'll put it this way. How Michael Vick plays determines whether the Eagles win that game, win that division this year, this week.